Oh,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Film Reviews Podcast. And I'm Eric, and this is Corbett.
what's up?
And like we've been doing, we're gonna continue into the MCU. This time, we're talking about probably in the bottom. How do I put it?
You okay there?
No, I'm trying to think of a way to put it. One of everyone's least favorite. It's not the worst.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but
it started. This is where they're like, "Oh, this one," but well, I'll get into that in a second. But yes, Thor: The Dark World from 2013. As always, I saw this in theaters. Did you get to see?
I've never seen. I haven't seen any of the Thor movies in theaters.
No. Oh,
no.
Did you say that in the?
Yeah, I said when we did
totally
Thor, when we did the first one. Yeah, I haven't seen it in theaters.
I remember going to the theater and walking out, and I'm like, "This was all right," but over the years, it's like,
See, that's like watching a movie for the first time. I guess it all depends on like your age or how you see things. But whenever I first saw this movie, I was like, kind of like you, it was good, it was all right, and everything like that. But I came back and I watched it again, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, I guess because I kind of didn't pay attention enough, so I started to kind of appreciate it more.
Yeah, I was actually literally about to say the same thing. Watching this again for this review, I was like, you know what? This ain't so bad. How we feel about it, we'll tell you at the end.
And of course, you got Tom Hiddleston, who freaking just is amazing.
Oh, probably the best.
Really is,
I don't know if I've mentioned it, but the best character development of an MCU character, starting from that, and then Loki, the show.
Yep.
We got to do the show.
We have to.
We have to.
The show.
Seen it, right?
If you've never, no, I've actually started watching it. It's actually pretty good.
Okay, good.
I enjoy the hell out of it. If you've never seen it, I'm just saying, watch it.
Oh man. Directed by Alan Taylor. So I don't know much about this guy.
Me
I
neither.
just remember when the movie was coming out and they mentioned who it is. I wish I would have wrote it down. He basically worked on and directed some episodes of Game of Thrones.
Did not know that. That's pretty cool.
I remember watching the Game of Thrones and seeing his name pop up in some episodes. I don't remember how many episodes. I know at least 2.
I guess I never noticed it because whenever I watched it just recently and I never noticed it.
Hold on. Wetting my whistle.
You ain't got time for that shit. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Starring Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman,
you have the
Tom Hiddleston, Stellan Skarsgård, Idris Elba, Christopher Eccleston. Give me a moment. I'm going to try to pronounce this guy's name right. Adewale Akinwe Abaji.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He played blanking on his name. He played Killer Croc in the Suicide Squad with Jared Leto.
Okay.
Killer Croc. Kat Dennings. We literally just started talking about her before we hit record. Ray Stevenson, Zachary Levi, Tadanobu Asano, Jamie Alexander, Rene Russo, and Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Rene Russo. I will always remember her in Lethal Weapon 3, I think it was. She came in.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 3, yeah.
Besides these Thor movies and then that one scene in Avengers Endgame, I don't know her from anything else. I just know she existed. But I did eventually watch all the Lethal Weapon movies.
The only time I ever heard of her was from Lethal Weapon 3 and 4, and then whenever she came out in Thor. That was it.
Screenplay by Christopher L. Yost. And then here we got Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. I think we talked about them.
Yeah, Stephen McFeely, yeah.
Apparently, like I think I've said before, these guys have basically worked on a lot of the Marvel movies after this. In fact, the next movie we talk about, they're in there too. And they're going to be, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they also wrote or the screenplay for Avengers Doomsday coming out at the end of the year. But cinematography by Kramer Morgenthau. And
Morgenthau, something like that.
Dan Lebentel.
Let's just go with that, okay?
Yeah. Wyatt Smith. Music by Brian Tyler. The release date was May 3rd, 2013. And I
so you notice all of them.
Hold on.
What?
This movie was released in November.
I was about to say, didn't we talk about that not too long ago? Yeah,
was released May 3rd.
I was about to say that something don't sound right.
Or that I forgot to put November.
What a fucking loser!
Okay. Yeah, I'm a loser, but it's okay.
So am I. So
budget was between 150 272.1 million, and box office was 644.8 million.
It did a very good. Made a very good profit.
Plot synopsis. In the film, Thor and Loki team up to save the 9 realms from the Dark Elves. That's it.
I had to put it in there.
So after the first movie's success, plans for a sequel were soon underway. They wanted it to take place after Avengers because they wanted to have like the fallout from Avengers and the consequences of the actions of course, Loki, and just start setting up stuff, coming up out after. So, Kenneth Branagh was set to return to direct, but he decided not to because filming the first movie was too exhausting for him.
Oh, poor baby.
Making millions of dollars filming a movie while I can barely afford my house.
Poor baby.
Boo-hoo.
Go get some pussy powder.
I don't know. Maybe it was exhausting. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't there.
It was. But little fact, I don't know if you had this written down, but a little fact that I found out, I'm pretty sure you know, but Thor, Chris Hemsworth in the first movie wore a wig.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember when the movie came out. No, I think it came out before Thor. Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods was filmed in 2009.
It was in 2009. Okay,
and released 3 years later in 2012.
Okay,
so.
No, that makes no sense. But well, anyway, basically what I'm saying is that he actually let his hair grow out for like over a year. So in this movie, it's his actual hair.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I always thought he wore a wig. The first wig was bad because they tried to make everything blonde.
I'm sorry that it looked terrible. It looked fake from the first one. It just didn't look right, but it worked in this one because it's his actual hair.
And I also remember too, they're talking about like directors like Alan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Patty Jenkins was also in talks to direct, but backed out due to creative differences. She directed the Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot. I call her Gal Gadot. It's not her name, but I just call her that.
Her too.
Kal-El, no. She's great as Wonder Woman, but her accent makes things sound weird. Like in the Justice League movie when Superman's brought back to life.
Yeah.
And they're all standing in front of her.
Yeah.
In front of him trying to help. But she goes, Kal-El, no. It's the way she did it.
She tried.
Kal-El.
The first time, I kind of off the subject, but the first time I've ever heard of her was in the fourth Fast and Furious movie. That was the first time I ever heard of her. First time I ever seen her.
First time I ever saw her was in the sixth one when she died.
Yes, I remember that.
And I didn't think anything of her. I just saw her go under the thing and die.
Yeah, because she let go, shot the dude to save Han.
And then they said they were casting for Wonder Woman, and then they showed her from Fast and the Furious.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's my first of her. I don't even barely remember Fast and the Furious 6. Oh.
It's been a long time since I've seen
it. In May of 2012, Mads Mikkelsen began talks to play one of the villains in the film. But he, at the time, he was filming that Hannibal's TV show.
Oh, okay.
So, but Mads Mikkelsen ended up coming to the MCU in Doctor Strange. He was the bad guy.
That's right. I remember that.
Benedict Cumberbatch was also in talks to play the bad guy Malekith.
Malekith, yeah.
But they went with Christopher Eccleston. But of course, again, another same movie. Stephen Strange. He comes in. He's Doctor Strange. Where am I?
I'm trying to think.
And Christopher Eccleston, who ended up playing Malekith, I'm
trying to remember something else I've seen him in, but
he's known to play the Ninth Doctor in the Doctor Who show.
Okay.
But the first time I saw him was in that G.I. Joe movie with
that's right.
Was it Channing Tatum?
Channing Tatum, yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy, Deathstroke.
I remember now.
And they put made his face look metal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
That was the first time I saw him.
I was trying to think of what I saw him on, but that's right. I remember now.
At the end of the month, Disney moved the release date from the film a week ahead to previous date to November 8th. See, I have the date right there. But by June 12th, much of the first film's supporting cast was confirmed to return. But in June, that same month, Josh Dallas announced that he would not reprise his role as Fandral. So Dallas had initially intended to return, but had to bow due to commitment on the television show Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm.
And Zachary Levi was cast in his place. He was originally up for the role in the first film, but he had scheduling conflicts while he was filming that show Chuck. Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Forced him to drop out. And Zachary Levi ended up moving from Marvel to DC as Shazam.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah. Next year, I think we're going to do the Snyderverse.
Do the Snyderverse?
Starting with Man of Steel and then end it with Aquaman.
With Aquaman.
The Lost Kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. I only watched it once. It was okay.
The first one was still pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was.
It was
too long. There were certain things I felt stretched, kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
But all in all, still a cool movie. You ready to get into this?
All right.
Fact you saw before?
Oh yeah, it's just a little small one, but it's crazy. Chris Hemsworth improvised hanging the hammer on a coat hook in a polite manner.
Yeah.
After playing in between takes, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
It was just funny.
Just comes up.
He just. But there was one thing that I never got about that. The hammer is supposed to be pretty much unmovable unless you are worthy.
I think it has something to do with magic.
It has to, because he hung that sumbitch on the coat rack, but it didn't collapse.
Yeah. It has to be magic related or something. Also,
I thought I was the only one that noticed that.
No, I did too.
It's like,
but it's one of those things where it can't happen, so I'm just gonna shut up.
but I was just like, how?
Yeah.
Like,
What does it do? Yeah, I know. I got you. I get it. You ready for this?
yeah, let's go. Let's go.
We start with some Odin narration. Eons ago, Bor, the father of Odin, wages war against the dark elf Malekith, who seeks to unleash a weapon known as the Ether onto the Nine Realms. After defeating Malekith's forces on their homeworld of Svartalheim, Bor sends the Ether to a hidden world that no one can reach. Spoiler, someone reached it. However, Malekith escapes with his lieutenant Algrim and a handful of dark elves before going into suspended animation. So I was gonna write down who played Bor, but I totally forgot.
It happens.
So I don't know.
It happens.
So you'll forever not know, or if you want to Google it after this, go ahead.
Just Google that shit.
I may do it when I get home. So Google, yeah, it exists. So they show in present. They cut to probably maybe a couple of days after the Battle of New York, where Loki is in cuffs and he's all cocky. He
like always,
Odin, like just standing there and just Frigga, his mother, like
that's it.
Just disappointed in him.
Yeah,
like, do I make you proud, mother? Like, don't make this harder. Like
just be. He's so snarky.
He I like how he tells them. He's like, aren't we supposed to rule them? But he's like, humans are. They are just. How did he say it? Fuck.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how he said.
He tells them that the Asgardians, like they're just like humans. They're born and they live and they die, and then
he says something about
give or take
5,000 years.
And Loki wanted to rule him, and it said that it was his birthright. But he's like, your birthright was to die as a child. I love it when he yells as Odin. It's scary.
Yeah, he's got that really demanding sound to his voice.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't see anybody else playing Odin for these movies. I really can't. I mean, Sir Anthony Hopkins is an awesome actor.
I have a feeling that someone could possibly be very close, but no one can actually do it better than him.
Yeah,
that's what I feel.
So, Loki's upset because he's got to go be imprisoned while Thor's running around. Well, like he thinks that Thor should be arrested too or something, but he's cleaning up your mess.
He's the one that screwed up. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so, and it shows he's been going around trying to stop anything that was going on from what Loki did. They are on the planet or the realm Vanaheim, and they're sitting there destroying. There's a big old fight going on.
They're kicking ass pretty much.
Lady Sif and the Warrior 3. They're destroying. They're beating the shit out of everyone, and then they're surrounded. And then Thor comes in and throws his hammer and knocks them all down. And she's like, Sif says, "We have this under control." He's like, "Is that where everything's on fire?" Yeah. So yeah, they're destroying.
He was throwing his hammer around,
slinging his hammer, tossing his hammer. Oh, the hammer tossed you off.
Sorry, little adult humor right there.
And all of a sudden, you hear like a growl. And walks in a rock creature who looks like Korg from.
Yes, I thought the same thing too.
He is the same. It's the same.
It's the same like
race, but it's not Korg. And he's like, Thor's like, I surrender. And then everyone's like all laughing, and then he drops the hammer thing, and then uppercuts it and destroys it. And he's like,
and it gets very quiet. Like,
yeah, it gets quiet. And he's like, anybody else? And they all just start kneeling.
And what was his name? Said we should have just started with the Rock guy. How'd he say that? We should have just began with the.
Yeah, we started with the big guy.
With the big guy, yeah, the big guy, yeah.
They go back and they're celebrating.
But Thor is sad.
Thor is sad, yep. And he's worried about Jane. And it cuts to Jane. She's on a date, hiding behind her menu, and her date is...
She's like...
Her date is actor Chris O'Dowd. You ever heard of this guy?
No, I've never heard of him.
He did this show in the early 2000s, I want to say. It's a British show because he's British.
Okay.
Called The IT Crowd.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
You ever heard of it?
No, I've never heard of that. No.
Dude, if you ever have a chance.
It's pretty good?
It's funny.
Okay.
It's really, really funny. And it also has Richard something. I can't remember his name. You remember that movie, The Watch, with Jonah Hill and all them? Do you remember the British dude with the glasses and curly hair at the end that ends up being an alien?
Yeah.
He's in the show too.
Oh, okay.
It's a hard show to explain. They work for a company as the IT department.
Oh shit!
Okay. Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Okay.
It's funny. If you ever have,
I'll have to check that out.
3 seasons, 6 episodes a season.
Okay. So it must have not lasted long.
That's a lot of British shows. They'll put out stuff, but then when they're done, they're done.
That's it.
They don't leave anything on a cliffhanger or anything. Like the British Office only lasted 2 seasons. The American Office lasted 9 seasons. Like, we didn't need all that. Well, I like how but then again, there's some shows that I really like that kind of had a bunch of seasons.
That's the thing. That's the thing. If there's a show that really, really catches my attention and I enjoy every moment of it, I want there to be like 15 damn seasons or something.
Yeah,
that's just me. That's just me. Yeah.
But yeah, she's still thinking about Thor. Darcy shows up and tells her equipment's going crazy, and she's like trying all the stuff. Like, did you press the button? I did that.
Well, it's like, and whenever they get in the car, when she gets in the car, and it's like, who's it? Who are you? And he goes, that's my intern.
Yeah, because Darcy is her intern.
She's an intern, so it's like, how can you have an intern?
Yeah, Ian. His name's Ian.
Yeah, he's like, Ian, my name is Ian.
And they said they're trying to get a hold of Eric, but they can't. And
yeah,
it cuts to a news report, a British news report, that Eric Selvig is basically running around Stonehenge butt naked.
Yeah, like butt ass naked.
He's just running around. I think I have it in later.
And he has one of those fucking tripods and he's running around with
it. I think it's later on in the movie, but I've always find it funny is that the shot of when he's running and he's kind of running towards the camera, he stops for a moment and then like moves. But the thing is, like, I think it's later on in the movie, they pause on his face on the screen and he's kind of like,
yeah.
But he's still kind of messed up from when
whenever Loki
when Loki hypnotized him. But yeah, he didn't get the treatment like Clint did. So that's why Clint's not running around naked at Stonehenge either. So yeah.
It's so funny.
So they travel to an abandoned factory because that's where everything's going on. And things are floating.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's like, and they have some kids running around, and they're like, we just found it. And they're like, can you show us? Whenever they go in there, kid just goes, freaking concrete truck. It just goes. And the whole damn thing lifts off the ground. First time I saw it, I was like, that's cool.
And they also have that staircase where they're throwing stuff down and it'll come back. And then sometimes it won't. They're like, what happened? And one of the kids, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't.
I love when they're throwing stuff into it. Ian grabs the car keys and throws them in there.
And they'll come back.
Was that the car keys? And he's like,
But yeah, so Jane's wandering, and she teleports to a hidden place. The hidden place where the ether is. They say nobody can find it, and she found it just by walking.
I think it's funny. Because, as you know, ether is a type of gas. They could have came up with a better name for that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they could have came up with a better name for that dark matter stuff.
So Thor is with Heimdall talking about, and they're at the new
breathe.
Corbin, I don't know if you knew this, but the last couple of weeks have been pretty shit.
I know.
And I thought I would come in just being like, hey, I could do this, but now I can't.
Just take your time and take it slow.
Thor is with Heimdall at the newly built Bifrost.
The Bifrost, yeah. Because it got destroyed during the first one, yeah.
And he's asking about Jane, and Heimdall can see everything. And as he's talking, he's talking to him about a convergence, which is coming up. And then he starts to, say that, he's been watching Jane, and then he pauses.
All of a sudden he pauses.
And he can't see her. So
she's in a whole different dimension, realm.
She comes back, and they have the cops. And she's like, why did you call the cops? And she's like, Jane, you've been missing for like 5 hours. And as they're talking, it starts to rain, but there's no rain touching them. And then she sees Thor, starts walking towards him.
And the rain follows, the little portal thing follows her. It starts raining on Darcy.
Typical. She slaps Thor, wondering
if he was real,
because she saw him in New York.
Well, she slapped him twice to wonder if he was real, and then she slapped the piss out of him, wondering where he's been.
Like there's been a lot going on.
I'd have been like, "Would you stop hitting me?
Stop hitting me.
Once enough."
So the cops come to try to arrest her, but when they grab her, the ether acts out and it
blows their ass back.
So Thor's like, oh, what's wrong? I gotta take you. So takes her to Asgard and leaves everybody there. And they get there and they get brought to the Asgard nurses. And I didn't know if you noticed this, but one of the older nurses is played by Alice Krieg.
Okay.
She was. Do you remember the Star Trek Next Generation with Jean-Luc Picard?
Yeah, Jean-Luc.
Do you remember the Borgs?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that Star Trek movie where they were also fighting the Borgs?
Yes, yeah.
She was the Borg Queen.
That was her?
Yeah.
Nice.
And she was also the mother in. Did you ever see that movie Sleepwalkers?
No, I have not seen Sleepwalkers.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, she's the mom.
Okay.
We may have to do that.
But I never knew that it was her on Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah, the Borg Queen. She only appeared in a couple episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, of course, with all the makeup and stuff like that, of course, you can't really tell.
She was also in that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that came out in 2022.
Oh, the one with all the college kids on the school bus, and he goes in there and hacks them all to shit.
She was the lady that was watching over him.
That's
and
right.
Out of the house, and then she died.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so. Not Thor.
They're trying to figure out what's wrong with her and everything like that.
They see that it is the ether, but I was trying to keep saying Thor walked up, but no, it's Odin.
If you remember, Odin was like this, like they got doctors over there that could take care of her and stuff like that. But Thor was like, no, this is something different. This is something I've never seen before. She's
like, who do you think you are to talk to me like that?
And he goes, I'm Odin. I'm King of Asgard. And she's like, oh. Well,
that's a good reason.
That's a good reason.
So, so they're planning on, they find out where the ether is, the Dark Elves. They end up waking up. They find out where it is, and they're making it there. It's been what they're going to do. Their plan is to get arrested to get to the vault, or they don't know where it is, but they know it's there.
They know it's on Asgard, yeah.
So Malekith stabs his lieutenant, Adewale, and puts the little stone in him. And if it breaks, it's supposed to turn him into like a big kind of like a super
the
cursed. It's called a cursed stone.
The cursed stone. That's right.
Because at the beginning of the movie, someone did that. That was a dark elf. They broke the stone.
That's right.
So he gives him one, and they get their prisoners, and then he sees them being brought in, and Loki's down there visiting with Frigga. She's in there with him, but she's not in there. She's
not in there, yeah.
But he's all upset or something, and she's like, your father would," and he's like, "He's not my father." She's like, "Am I not your mother?" And he looks at her and goes, "You are not." It's like, "Well, you're about to regret that in a minute, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, no shit, right?
So Thor's showing her around, Jane, and she meets Thor's mom. And as they're doing this, shit starts to go down. The ships are coming in invisible.
I love the part whenever one of them is coming in and Heimdall sees, so like he can see it, but then he can't, and he starts running after it, and then he freaking just jumps on it and just breaks it all to shit. I was like, one man took down a whole ship.
Heimdall's
pretty cool. He was really cool. And then he looks back, and then all hell starts breaking loose. He's like, I can do one, but
so as they're as the dude is in the cell, he takes the stone out of his cut and then breaks it and turns him into the cursed. So he takes some of the enemies that are in there with him and smashes them against the thing, and it breaks the
shield, yeah.
Yeah, and chaos. People are dying, he's killing them, and breaking all the things. And
he's letting all of them out, pretty much.
Yeah, letting everybody out. And then Loki tells them, you might want to take the stairs. Thinking it's going to
the stairs to the left, yeah.
Thinking it's going to take out Odin, I guess. But as this is going down, Frigga says she was going to help Jane go hide with her. And
she's like, do whatever I tell you without any questions. I was like, yeah, it's about to go down.
Oh yeah, just people dying, and they use these grenades that they look like little black holes. They suck things in. They sucked in a couple of people, and then they were trying to hit it with the throne with it too to destroy the throne. But then Malekith finds Frigga and Jane and trying to get it from her. And Frigga thinks that, shouldn't think. You don't realize it, but she can fight.
She's a badass sword.
She can fight. She's not just raised by witches, that we'll find out in a few movies ahead. But
yeah, she was a badass. She's a badass swordsman.
But then it catches her, and she says, you can't have her, over my dead body. And I forgot what he said, but then he stabbed her. But as he stabbed her, when he drops her, Thor just so happened to come in and he shoots lightning into his face and it burns half his face.
Yeah.
In the comics, Malekith, he has like one side of his face is like white
Yeah.
and another side is blue.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it blue, for the movie.
It was black, like it was charcoal, like you fried his face.
They kind of did that just to be comic accurate, I guess.
Yeah.
But he throws his hammer, and they already jumped off. The curse took him.
And they jumped off the balcony,
Yeah, jumped off the balcony and go. But, so Frigga's gone. And, damn, like, that sucks. And they have the Viking funeral, I guess, for her.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Viking funeral.
They put her in the boat, and then it goes off, and then they shoot a flame.
It lights it on fire. Yep.
And then it goes to Valhalla or something. But as he's telling this, it's like Loki's sitting there, and there's sad music playing, but there's no audio. One of the guards comes up and tells him.
Yeah, it tells Loki.
That she died, and he bows his head, and he stands up, and he just knocks everything around. Like, it's all your fault, bro.
Like, if you wouldn't have done that shit.
But yeah, there was just so much death. And a
lot of people died in that movie.
Yeah, someone took a grenade and tossed it towards the throne again, and it definitely crumbled it up. They tried it once, and it only broke like a piece, but then they threw another one later on. But yeah, a lot of Asgardian soldiers died. And then they cut to Eric Selvig trying to explain the convergence to everyone using shoes. And he's like, it's science. Anyone got any questions?
And you see Stanley.
Stanley,
can I have my shoe bag?
Can I have my shoe bag? And also, yeah, they don't. This is where they, like, Jane's gone, and it's Darcy and Ian, and they're like, I can't get a hold of Eric, and then that's when they see the news, and that's when they pause on his face, going,
"Yeah." It's like your friend Eric. What was his last name? So you might want to come see this.
But they go try to get him out, and shit,
you lost your place.
Yeah. So what's going on is that they're trying to think of a plan on how to do it to get out to get Loki out, because he recruits Loki, because Loki looks all nice in his cell, and then like it's all an illusion and it's all messed up in there, and he's all messed up. He's like, "Now you see me, brother," and so he goes basically to recruit him. Like, you know why you're in there. And so he's like, are you going to help us? And Loki's like, when do we start? And I like this in movies, that they're explaining the plan of what they're going to do.
Right.
And while they're explaining it,
everything's kind of going into place. Yeah.
Yeah, like Volstagg holding back those enemies.
And then what's her name? Sif was holding back some of the Asgardian guards.
Yeah, but I like when Loki and Thor were sneaking out. Loki trying to get his attention by transforming.
He was being very annoying in that part.
Yeah. So he turns into a guard. Look, and he walks past a pier, and he morphs into a guard. And then
they walk past another one.
Loki's Loki again, but he disguises Thor as Sif.
Yeah.
And then he says, perhaps one of your new colorful friends will help you. And it's Chris Evans as Captain America, but it's Loki's.
And what I liked about it is they, I guess, they got him just for that specific part, because it's his voice and everything. Like, it's so cool.
God bless America. But
and he slams them up against the wall.
So they get into a ship, and they're figuring out how to go. They get it. They get it go. Yeah,
he's like, I thought you said you knew how to fly this. I said, how hard could it be?
I'm pressing buttons.
It's like you're not. You're pressing it too hard. Press it. It's like I am pressing it gently. It starts up,
and
I love how.
And then they end up they're flying and they hit a statue of Boar.
Everything.
Yeah, he's like, you decapitated your grandfather.
He's like, yeah, take the most obvious ship and hit everything on the way, like basically getting all the attention on us.
Yeah. So
you're not doing very well.
They end up jumping out of the ship, or he
pushes Loki out of the ship,
and it's Fandral, Zachary Levi. He's flying the little thing, and they get in there, and he's like, I bid you all farewell. I hope you do, what you're going to do. And he jumps out and takes out some of the enemies. I mean, I wouldn't say enemies.
Yeah, it was their own people, yeah.
And
he goes, no hard feeling, fellas. He starts kicking the shit out of them.
So they give the reins to Loki to fly, and he goes into a little crack, and they disappear. And it's probably the portals that he used when in the first Thor to get around. But they appear into the world, and as they fly out of the hole, Loki just goes, ta-da!
Yeah, that was ta-da!
So, where am I?
They're looking for Malekith.
Yeah, so they're looking for Malekith. They're flying the thing.
I call it the flying boat.
The flying
I don't know what it is. It was on the water, but it was hovering, so the flying boat.
I don't know if we got there yet or I was there, but Darcy and Ian got Eric out of that institution.
Yeah. Ian acted like he was his son.
Yeah, he's like, "Why are you taking all that medicine?" He's like, "I had a god in my brain." And just trying to figure out how everything's going to work. And then they look about the convergence coming out, and they see the birds fly. They disappear, and then they come out from
the ground. Yeah.
So
Darcy, what the hell was that?
They had to. So I guess they go back to whoever's apartment there, and they're trying to get going. But while they're doing that, they're trying to
execute the plan.
With Malekith. So, Loki and him are arguing, about who put me in that cell. He's like, you know damn well who.
You know damn well who.
It's like Thor, like he thinks of the world of his brother. They grew up together. You know, it's not until like the recent events, that Loki's shown animosity towards them. Like Thor doesn't think he's bad at all. He's just,
he's just confused. He thinks he's just confused or something like that. And he's trying to give him chance after chance after chance, and he keeps fucking it up.
So as Malekith and them show up, Thor's getting ready, and then Loki kicks him down the hill, and he's falling. The hammer's gone.
Well, if you remember, he stabs him.
Oh, he
stabs him. Then he pushes him down
the hill. Yeah, and he's calling for the hammer, and then Loki comes up beside him and cuts his hand off. And when I first saw it, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, like literally I was like, wait, what the hell just happened?
What just happened? And,
but then I started kind of thinking to myself, well, he's really good at like those illusions and shit like that.
Be honest, I did not see. I honestly thought he cut his hand off.
You thought he cut his hand off?
I really did.
Well, at that moment in time, I thought he really did cut his hand off, but then I started thinking about, wait, hold on. They have a whole plan, but then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, no, he's fucking with him and stuff like that, trying to kill him and all that. But then deep down, I was like, no, something's up. Something's up.
And he takes Jane and gives her to Malekith, and as it brings her up, he's trying to take the ether out of her. And then that's when they realize it's an illusion. He didn't really cut his hand off. He calls the hammer and he shoots it with the lightning to try to blow it up. But it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, can you actually destroy an infinity stone Well, we'll find out later on that you could, but it takes more than that.
Yeah, a lot more than that.
So Malchus got what he wants. He's got the ether. So he's like, I don't need you guys anymore. So he starts to leave, but his lieutenant that was cursed stays behind and beats the ever living shit out of Thor, just back and forth, just beating him into the ground, breaking a rock and slamming it on him.
He was just like yelled him on the ground, just decking him in the face over and over again. I was like, damn.
And then he threw the hammer at him, and then when he turned around and saw it, he just knocked it out of the way.
Smacked it out of the way, yeah.
And
then you remember what happens after that?
Yeah, so Loki decides that he wants to help, so he stabbed the cursed from behind. And when he turned around, he grabbed Loki, and stabbed him.
Up against him, yeah.
And threw him to the ground, and you think that he's about to kill him.
I'll see you in hell, monster.
Yeah, and you find out that he had one of those grenades, and it was on him, and it exploded and fucking sucked him up in a fucking grisly-ass way.
That was gruesome as hell.
Damn.
It really was, but it was really cool.
Did you notice that whenever his head went back, you saw his eyes come out? Did you notice that?
Yep, I noticed that.
I see that every time.
I noticed
especially when the first time I saw it too. Yep. Yeah, his eyes like one after the other get sucked in.
Whenever I saw that, I went, "Oh!"
Yeah, it's like you see the two Asgardians get killed by that grenade like earlier on during the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was like more up close and personal, like pretty graphic for a PG-13 movie, you know. But
it made the cut though, so whatever.
Yeah, so Thor is by Loki. Loki's dying.
Excuse me.
And he apologizes, and Loki dies. Yeah.
Quotation.
I'm lost.
They go back to the apartment.
Yeah, so they learn that Malekith wants to plunge the entire universe into darkness by unleashing the ether at the center of the convergence in Greenwich. And we also get where I lost
okay.
Yeah.
But if you remember, they go to that cave.
Oh yeah, they get to the cave and they see a bunch of shoes, and her phone rings.
Her phone rings first, and then he's like, "It's not me."
Yeah, it's not me.
And then she answers it,
and it's her date from the beginning.
Yeah. It's like, whatever you do, don't hang up the phone.
And Lee thinks that he's got a chance.
Yeah.
Against Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
And that's when they find the can and the shoes and the keys for the car.
Yeah. Why there's so many shoes?
Yeah, why there's so many shoes?
And then they make it back, and the car was like destroyed. Well, from earlier, but
yeah, it was a little messed up, but it started up.
Yeah, when they get in, they're about to drive away, and Thor's like, "Who's Richard?" So they make it to their apartment.
She's like, "Really?"
And yeah, so they walk in.
And there's Eric and Ian, and
giving her a hug with no pants on.
So she's like, "Where's your pants?" He's like, he thinks better without any pants.
And yeah, so he hangs this thing.
He hangs the hammer. How? How?
I love it when Eric sees him, he's like,
Thor. The authority out.
He goes, "Your brother's not coming, is he?" Like, I'm afraid
Loki is dead. Loki is dead.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
I just love that. Oh, thank God.
And Thor's really like, really? He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Oh, thank God.
So they're gonna use the device and triangulate convergence.
I love how they start talking about how they're gonna do everything, and he's like, "I think maybe I should put some pants on."
No. He calls the hammer. He's like, "I'm gonna get my pants."
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my pants.
I'm gonna get my pants.
So they're off all doing what they need to do, and Darcy and Ian, they were trying to put the things in. It's like, this is really important. We get this done. And she's like, do you even know what these things do? And
he's like, no. Oh, no. Neither do I.
So yeah. Well, also while this is going on, they have a Asgardian crew show up to the planet where they were, Vanaheim. I think
Vanaheim. I think it was.
And you see the green change, and it's like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
And a guard goes, "We have a body."
And if you remember when he's breaking the news to Odin, he smiles.
Yeah. The guy smiles. So.
Yep. Don't know
what's going on.
Don't know.
We'll find out.
God, that sounded horrible.
Who cares?
I'm sorry.
So, we're almost done. Where am I?
Quit losing your place. Okay.
And I love this, like all this going down, like the ships start coming, and some of the elves hit the ground, and she's using a device to make them like disappear and shit.
Yeah.
Just like a poof.
Yeah.
And then she accidentally makes
Darcy
disappear.
She goes, oops. So Darcy goes, what the hell just happened?
And then they're running from elves too. And there's a shot where they're trying to get her. They're about to take her out, and then
Darcy's on the ground. Yeah,
everything's like floating, but Ian somehow grabs the floating vehicle and picks it up and
slams it. Yeah,
she's like, "You saved me,"
and he goes, "Yes, I did."
And shit's going down, trying to make everything reappear, drain again.
I just love how when Thor's fighting with Malekith, they start going through all the portals and they fall on that building. I forgot where it was at, and they smash on the windows and they're just sliding down. Everyone's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. I don't want to follow it in too much of an order, but yeah. So they're fighting, jumping from place to place. Like when he hits old dude with his hammer, and things go flying, and like the cars go. Can you imagine like that being one of your cars after you just got painted off? And you're like, that's kind of like when you see someone like this in a picture or something, and it's like when Superman uses your car to destroy a bad guy, but you just got done painting it off.
You got done painting it off. You're like 7 years of pain. But okay, just to backtrack a little bit. Whenever they're going through the portals while they're fighting and stuff like that, they go to a planet where there's a bunch of snow and stuff. Is that the same planet from the first one?
Jotunheim.
Yeah, Jotunheim?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because that creature,
that's right.
Yeah. And
he goes with them.
But the cool thing about this, so they're jumping from place to place. I love how Thor, he doesn't quite have his hammer.
Yeah, like it's almost to the point.
When they disappear, the hammer is trying to go, but when the portal like closes for that moment, the hammer doesn't know what to do,
so it
just goes straight up into the sky.
And all the glass is shattering on that building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally flying to space. And then when they come back, the hammer kind of just turns to go.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat concept.
It was.
Because they're jumping from portal to portal. Hammer doesn't know where to go, so it just goes straight up into space. It just goes straight up into space. That was probably my favorite. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
That was a pretty cool concept. Yeah.
And then they make them come back, Darcy and them.
Yeah.
And Darcy is kissing Ian, but she's holding him in where usually a man holds the woman down to like kiss him like that. It's opposite.
Yeah.
It's like Darcy drops him.
Yeah, it just drops him.
It's like Ian. And then the hammer flies by. She's Mimir.
Yeah, Ian, Mimir. So stupid, funny though.
But I also like to whenever Thor gets transported somewhere else, but it's at a Subway.
Yes, and he goes, "Is this the way to wherever?" And
Greenwich.
yeah,
And
Greenwich.
they're like, yeah. So he gets in to go,
and he's holding up to the bar like.
And then the lady bumps
Whatever.
into him, and they both kind of smirk. I just always thought
Yeah,
that
she was
funny.
like, "Oh, sorry."
Then
funny.
as he's getting there, though, things are getting bad. He's calling it up. All the 9 realms are aligned.
Yep.
And the ether, he's letting it go, and it's starting to go. I love the shot of like
it just starts surrounding everything.
All the holes kind of like lining up like that. But also too, they had like 2 airplanes flying, but they got messed up because of the gravity.
Because of the gravity, and they tried shooting the ship, but the missiles just disappeared.
I forgot how they put it, but Thor's going to use one of those devices on him.
Yeah.
So he gets there, and Malekith is telling him that you can't stop him and all this. Hits him. They get into a little scruffle real quick, but then Thor gets up the upper hand, throws one of those things at him, and it stabs him in the shoulder.
And his arm disappears.
Yeah, and she turns the device and it makes his arm disappear. And it happens again, and Malekith ends up disappearing, which is, besides a cool little fight they had, kind of a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, because he smashes him with the hammer, he flies it to the ship, then that thing is stuck on him, and she turns it on, makes him go disappear.
Yeah, and with the ship, and then the ship is fallen, and like the ship's edge looks like a knife,
like a giant ass axe.
Yeah, so and the part, I guess you say, that cuts is falling straight on him.
I love it because he's laying there and he's like, his eyes are all big and shit, like, oh.
And so they save the world, crushed by his own ship.
Stupid.
And he returns to Asgard. And hold on, let me turn the page.
He's talking with Odin at the throne.
Yeah. He offers him the throne, but he declines.
He'd rather be out there protecting the realms and stuff instead of sitting on a chair.
And then as he walks away, Odin turns into Loki. Loki's alive.
Da, da, da.
Roll credits. But we got our mid-credits scene where Volstagg and Sif are visiting somewheres. They're dropping off the ether there. The little red girl introduces Tenelir Tavan, the Collector, who they entrust the ether with his care. Tenelir Tavan, the Collector, played by Benicio del Toro.
I like Benicio del Toro, yeah.
And Asgardians, or the stupid thing that he does.
I forgot
they
about that.
Give him a look too.
It's so stupid.
But then that's when you find out. It is, and it's like, if you have a vault, why are you bringing it here? And he says, we already have the Tesseract in our vault. It's not wise to keep 2 Infinity Stones so close together.
Yep.
And they give it to him, and then they leave. And then he says, 1 down, 5 to go.
Yep.
Which in the comics, I think that the Collector was helping Thanos collect the stones.
I think so. I think he was helping them in the comics, yeah.
And credits again, but a post-credits scene where Thor and Jane reunite, gives her a big kiss, and you're like, oh, that's happy. And then they see that little creature, not the little creature, that big creature from Jotunheim.
Yeah, from Jotunheim,
running around chasing birds like a cat.
Like
yeah. And that's the end of the movie. A little more enjoyable watch this time around, in my opinion.
Honestly, like I said, I guess because there were certain things that I might have missed whenever I watched it the first time. Like I said, it was good, but then it was like, in my opinion, it could have been better. But whenever I watched it again recently and just earlier today, I've come to appreciate it more because there's things about the movie that I guess I just missed, and I thought it was great. I thought it was very good.
You ready to rate this thing?
Yeah,
You want to go first?
you go first.
You me? Okay. Giving this a rewatch, I really had a good time. There were a couple parts that were,
yeah, just kind of didn't make sense, but okay.
The worst part I can honestly say is not Malekith himself. It's the anticlimactic battle towards the end.
I agree. It could have been better. I'm sorry, but it could have
been better and a little longer, the fight. I just felt like a couple of things happened and then he was missing his arm and then that was it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I'm going to have to give it a 7. Because like I said, it was still very entertaining.
Yes.
But there was parts in the movie that just kind of didn't make sense to me that they could have done better with and all that. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
All right, Corbett. So that's going to do it for Thor.
The Dark World. The Dark World.
The Dark World. Oh, my God. I think I need to sit down.
Are you having a stroke or something?
I think so.
Is your arm going numb?
No.
Okay, you're good then.
But I don't know.
All right, well.
Yeah, so Thor the Dark World, please watch it.
If you've never seen it, I give it a watch.
7. There you go. Not a 6, 7.
Please no.
You know what?
For the love of God, no.
You know, I think that has gone out now.
Yeah, and I'm glad it did.
I haven't heard anybody do that in a while.
Just, I see where they're going with it, but it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, I
think they did it too much.
I think that's what I think they just do it to annoy people.
Yeah, they succeeded.
Doesn't mean anything.
And they succeeded. But but anyway,
yeah. So like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one, which is going to be a whole lot more entertaining with Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Peace.